You have been sold a big, fat lie, pretty much since the day you were born. And it's come from multiple sources all around you, which is why it's been so believable, why it's been seemingly so significant and real, which is then why we take it on. We carry it throughout our lives. And in that sense, it's the biggest scam of all time. And that is that you have any other job than to feel absolutely great. That's it. That's your only job in life, is to feel fantastic. And here's why that scam, that lie, is so insidious. Because as a part of the lie, we've been taught that in order to feel good, we have to get certain things. We have to become someone. We have to do something in order to earn the right to feel good, whether it's through our job, whether it's through something that we create, whether it's good deeds that we do in the world. Otherwise, we feel guilty, or we feel shame, or we feel like we're not enough. So we have to live up to the standards. We have to live up to society's expectations in order to be worthy of that natural, inherent well-being that is your birthright. And you see, the other reason why it's such a scam is because actually nothing good can come to you if you're not in alignment with your well-being. If you don't feel good, you will not have the inspiration, the creativity, the sense of freedom, the sense of joy, that spark of your true self, which is what allows for you to be successful, abundant, connected, joyful. You see, that's why this is so insidious, because we have been taught and programmed to be slaves, constantly seeking outside of ourselves that glimmer of hope, that sense of belonging, that reason for being. And yet it's always on the horizon. And that's a part of that whole system, is that in order for you to get there, to become that, to feel that you've earned it, you have to keep going. It's crazy when you think about it, because when you're a child, you know this so deeply, so truly. You don't even know it intellectually. You just know it absolutely in the core of your being. And that's why we love children so much, because they are so in alignment and in tune with their true self, with their well-being, that their life is beautiful. And we love to project onto them that they don't have responsibilities and they just don't know the world yet and they haven't figured out life, but it's actually just not true. When you come into this world, you're as close to the source of your true self as you pretty much ever will be, at least for most people. And that's a crying shame, because then we have the arduous duty of waking up, sifting through the maze, through the myriad of distractions and pitfalls of this society that wants to keep us stuck, wants to keep us striving and seeking for something outside of us, when it's always already within. And the funny thing is that when you come back into the recognition, into the realization, into alignment with the well-being within you, what happens is the happiness and the joy and the sense of freedom and that creative spark and your imagination and your bliss and your excitement and your inspiration rise to the surface again. They become prominent in your awareness. They become prevalent in your experience. And you realize that actually you've just been chasing your tail the entire time. You never really needed to look outside of you for anything. In fact, that's the nature of the law of attraction, is that you cannot manifest or attract something that you're not already being. It is law. So when you come into alignment with your true self, which is the highest frequency that you have access to, because it is the highest truth, the highest embodiment of what you are, everything that is for you comes to you. You were born to be rich. You were born to be fulfilled. You were born to be creative and expressing and sharing that creativity. You were born to feel whole and be happy, be joyful, be at play in life. You were born to not have a difficult, challenging, arduous, painful, suffering experience. You were born to have fun. But the world programs us to see through the lens of separation and limitation and contraction and difficulty. And therefore we take on tension and we take on stress and we take on this perspective of, I'm falling behind. I need to keep going. I need to not miss these opportunities. I need to keep on top of all this. Otherwise, I'm going to get left behind. I'm going to fail. I'm going to die. But it's simply just the paradigm that you're experiencing the world through. It's just the lens through which you're seeing reality. It's just a reflection of your internal state. You see, your self-concept and the way that you think about yourself and the way that you relate to yourself in terms of the beliefs you have about yourself and the world and others literally dictate what you experience in life. And that's the good news, because your beliefs are entirely within your control. And when you start to play with your beliefs and you start to test the believability of what you desire in terms of, maybe I want a certain partner, or I want a certain amount of money, or I want a certain experience of myself in this life. And you ask yourself, what is the believability of that? On a scale of 1 to 10, do I think that I can experience that right now, or tomorrow, or next week, or perhaps at the end of the year? And depending on where the answer is, 1 through 10, you have the foundation to work with, right? If you believe that it's a 1, well, now you can start to experiment and say, well, what would it take for me to get that score of 1 to 10 in terms of the believability that I'm worthy of a partner, that I'm in love with, that I can live life with, that I can create beautiful things with? How do I get from a 1 to a 10 in terms of that being my reality tomorrow or next week or by the end of the year? The same goes for money. How believable is it to me that I can make X amount of money, my dream amount of money, by next week, by the end of the year? And you see, when you really start to investigate your beliefs in that way, you start to really see the limitations that you're imposing upon your reality. And the more you give yourself permission to reimagine your self-concept, your beliefs, and you start to play with the moldability, the believability of how actually you can create that, then everything starts to change. And the way that that change accelerates rapidly is through your frequency. So if you can bring an elevated frequency in response to everything within your life and circumstance and relationships and everything that you're experiencing, now what you do is you don't give cues to your circumstance. You don't give significance to your events outside of you. You don't give meaning to whether things are working or not, because you are looking at the source of your reality, which is your state of being, your frequency. And when your eye is on the prize, which is your energetic, vibrational being, now you can't fail. Now you're destined to succeed. You're destined to be rich. You're destined to be in love with life, with yourself, with others, with the world. You're destined for greatness because you have come into alignment with the truth of who you are, which is that you are the source of your reality. You are the creator of your life, and you do so through your beliefs and through your frequency. And so these are the tools of your consciousness which you can play with. And when you prioritize how you feel above all else. And when you make your mood, your attitude, your state of being, your well-being the number one priority, just watch how, with a relaxed nervous system, with a calm and still mind, with an open, receptive being, how things come to you effortlessly. That is why this lie that we have been fed since the day we came into this world, the greatest scam that has ever existed, is keeping us trapped in a paradigm that will never bring fulfillment, never bring freedom, never bring satisfaction and wealth, because it is a rat race where we are literally just chasing our own tail, outsourcing ourselves, giving away our power, and therefore we will never be able to arrive, because you see, that is an inner game. It is an internal realization of that which always is, of your true self. And that true nature, which is abundance, which is freedom, which is creativity, which is love and peace and joy itself, is what becomes prominent in your reality when you align with it internally. And that is when that whole scam, that whole lie, dissolves and dies and fades from anything that you could ever believe ever again. And your life becomes fucking wild. And everything becomes effortless and easy and magical. And this is why I created my alignment masterclass, which is broken into 3 parts: IAM, identity, alignment, manifestation. And it's a free 3-part masterclass which walks you through this process with meditations, worksheets, visualizations, and the whole process of reverse engineering where you've been outsourcing your power and giving into the lie that we've been fed. It reclaims your power, it reclaims your attention, and it reorients your intention to be in alignment with who you really are so that you can manifest all that is yours by birthright. And if you haven't already gotten access to this, just comment alignment down below and I'll send you a link where you can play with it today.